Here is a very interesting problem based on charge redistribution. Let us read out the problem. Two identical metallic spherical shells A and B having charges plus 4q and minus 10q are kept certain distance apart. A third identical uncharged sphere C is first placed in contact with sphere A and then with sphere B. Then spheres A and B are brought in contact and then separated. Find the charge on spheres A and B. We'll try to solve this. Before solving this, let me give you a note. I'll write here note. When two identical conducting spheres are brought in contact, then redistribution of charge takes place. Redistribution of charge takes place. That means charge is equally divided on both the spheres. With this note, we can easily solve the given problem. So here are given with two spherical shells A and B having charges plus 4q and minus 10q. Charge on A sphere A is plus 4q. This is given. Similarly, charge on sphere B is minus 10q. Spherical shell it is. Sphere, or you can write charge on shell A, charge on shell B. They are kept certain distance apart. Now we are bringing, read here, a third identical uncharged sphere C is first placed in contact with sphere A. Now C is uncharged and it is brought in contact with A. What will happen? Now this is what it will happen. Redistribution of charge will take place. When C and shell C and shell A are placed in contact, C and A are placed in contact, C and A are placed in contact, charge of A equally divides in two spheres. When C and A are placed in contact, A has charge but C is uncharged, so this charge of A equally divides between two spheres. Charge of A divides between two spheres. Therefore, charge on each A and C. equal to 4q divided by 2, which is equal to plus 2q. Now what are they doing? So a third identical uncharged sphere C is first placed in contact with sphere A. So we finish this part, and then with sphere B. Now C and B are kept in contact. C and B are placed in contact with each other, or C is placed in contact with B. Now again the charge redistribution takes place. Therefore, charge on each C and B, which is equal to, C has a charge of plus 2q and the charge of B is given, that is minus 10q, divided by 2, minus 8q by 2, that is minus 4q. Charge on each C and B is now minus 4q. Next, what? We finished two parts, that is C is placed in contact with A and then the sphere B. So this much we finished. Now what they are doing? Then spheres A and B are brought in contact and then separated. Find the charge on spheres A and B. Now again sphere A and B are brought in contact. So we can write A is placed in contact with B. Now A is placed in contact with B. Initial charge on A now has become the first initial charge was plus 4q, and after C was brought in contact with A, the new charge on A is plus 2q and the new charge on B is minus 4q. Now this 2q and minus 4q will get divided equally. The charge gets divided equally, therefore charge on each A and B becomes equal to charge on each A and B. Charge on A is plus 2q plus minus 4q divided by 2. So this is minus 2q divided by 2, which is equal to minus q. At the end, the new charge on A and B is minus q. Hope you understood. So whenever we place two identical conducting spheres in contact, the charge redistribution takes place. Though the initial charge on A was plus 4q and the initial charge on B was minus 10q, when C is brought in contact with A and B, and then again finally A and B are again kept in contact with each other and then separated, So the final charge on each A and B is minus Q. You can write here, finally, the charge on the spheres A and B is minus Q. The charge on spheres A and B is minus Q. This is the answer, minus Q. We have a minus sign here, minus Q. The charge on spheres A and B is minus Q. Hope you understood this problem.